documentary, Tiger King, has become the binge-watching thing of choice for millions stuck at home. And a lot of people have a soft spot, for some reason, for Joe Exotic, even though he did some really shady and horrifying stuff. Now, Megan, you've been obsessed with the series for a while. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I can't stop watching this. I actually watched it entirely, and now I'm starting to watch it all over again. And it's true. Joe Exotic is the, I know. And I know you all have watched it since then. But it's amazing because well, Joy still is more culturally erudite than I'll ever be watching British dramas and Holocaust documentaries. I'm watching Tiger King. But I will say that it's interesting because he has committed a lot of crimes, and he's definitely like ethically nebulous, but he's sort of this like folk hero to a lot of people. And I'm one of the people that's sort of like fallen in love with him. I actually considered signing the petition to have President Trump pardon him, but that just must be out of how obscenely bored I am in my house right now.
That's pretty bored.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
That is pretty bored. Oh, my God.
Well, his rival, Caroline Baskin, has emerged as a villain for a lot of folks, too, because of the documentary actually recast suspicion on whether she may have had something to do with her late husband's disappearance. I mean, she denies it, but authorities are looking into the case again. What do you think, Sonny?
You know, I got obsessed with this show too. Megan told me about it, and then I became obsessed, and then I got my husband obsessed. My son is now watching it, and you know, it does lead you to believe that Carol did something to her husband. I mean, you know, they had this contentious relationship, and then all of a sudden, like, he disappears, and she takes all the money, and his, you know, other family doesn't get any money. And so I've become obsessed with it. But, you know, to the point about Joe Exotic, I think what's so interesting is that, you know, he's a bad guy. He's done terrible things. And he even ran for governor. And so I think in this country, you know, we have this reality star president, and it's almost like nepotism not nepotism, but it's like, you know, people that aren't qualified to do something, they're like on steroids at this point, and they're like, you know, running for governor and running zoos, and it just tells us, I think, something about ourselves. And I think that's why so many people are so fascinated by it. And what's interesting is that Carol, that case is now being investigated. Her husband's disappearance, he was declared legally dead after 5 years, but the disappearance is now being reinvestigated. The case has been reopened. And it just goes to show you, right? Yeah. The power of television and these documentaries. It's fascinating to me.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Joy, you haven't seen it yet, but what have you been watching?
Well, first of all, I have zero interest in that show. Zero.
Right, that's why I said you haven't watched it. That's why I'm trying to get you to tell me what you have been watching.
Well, I've been
watching
Downton Abbey, to tell you the truth. I've been watching Downton Abbey because there's such... the whole country is in turmoil. People are dying. It's a horror show going on. I watch the news. I watch Andrew Cuomo. I like to watch Dr. Fauci when he comes on to hear the real truth of what's going on. And I want to escape. I don't want to go into more murder and mayhem. I really don't. So I like to go through the 20th century with the Downton Abbey family, with the Crawleys and Lord Grantham and all of these people who actually experienced, in reality, not on the show, but in reality, the generation that experienced world wars and famines and the Spanish flu. But it's in the past. It's over. They solved it. We are in the middle of this, and that makes me anxious. So I do not want to watch anything that stirs me up worse than I am. Okay?
Well, I will say that Tiger King explains Trump very well. It explains how Trump became president and his sort of like demographic of people. Because I think it's easy to forget that, you know, so much of this country is obviously, you know, in the middle, and, you know, enjoy going to exotic tiger parks, no matter how disgusting it looks from the outside. And by the way, you might enjoy the fact that Carol is accused of feeding her husband to tigers. That's how she's allegedly, mysteriously, maybe killed him. So you might enjoy that, Joy.
That's interesting. Yeah,
And
that's
a ton
an
of
interesting.
people,
Yeah, it
a
is.
ton
I
of
didn't
people
know about
voted
that.
for
Yeah, it
Joe
is.
Exotic to be governor. Like 15% of the people in Oklahoma voted for him to be governor. He had no experience. It was like mind blowing.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Here's
Remember
the
Roy
here's
Moore?
the thing
I
you
mean,
have to
they'll vote for
understand.
anybody.
People, yeah, trying. People are just going to watch what they want to watch, and it's interesting because the people who are watching have no particular politics. They're just watching a show that interests them, and that's the best thing about it.